Now we're going to collect data in the wiping process and send it to the Django server that we built in Linux in the previous part, which was part 50, in the same format as before. As I say, the format that we've chosen here really is a list format. Well, we'll see that in a minute, but there's multiple ways that you could send this over. This one is probably the simplest. So I've restarted the Django server in the console, and I also turned on debugging true, so that we'll see the output as the server receives it. Okay, so the first thing, there's two parts to this. The first one is the system info, and we'll just run that. Yeah. Now it doesn't know the asset number because the directory is empty, but we're going to call it 999. Okay. And in the right-hand screen, you can see that the Django server has received 22 lines of data. The first ones, and this is something we went into when we looked at views, is the asset states and serial number, that triplet, because it's going to use the asset number to store the asset information. It's going to use the serial number to store the asset number for the query when you first run the system. And the state is important. It's wipe as opposed to image, so that it creates a different file. So we just have a quick look actually. Yeah, it's still there. So the one that we collected with Windows has gone into the asset number followed by image, and the one we've collected just now is asset number followed by wipe. The reason is you could have the same asset number wiped and imaged, and it would be two separate files. It won't overwrite. Again, that's just a choice that you can tweak. So that's the system information, and up here we should have the disk log. Now it's slightly more complicated because it's only done when in this case after a successful wipe in the wipe script. So after a successful wipe, it sends over the device number, which is where you get all the information from, the asset number, because it's going to have to send that over to Django, the arrays type, in this case it's enhanced secure arrays, just make that in the wipe script would be determined rather than put in like that. And finally the URL of the Django server, which is now reddev1 8000. Okay, and also the wipe script will know that and pass it over. Just is embedding that one too. So we'll just run that and have a look in here, and you can see it read 8 lines, again the same triplet, 999 wipe, and the serial number of the system. Yep. And then it added the disk model, serial number, size 320 gigabytes, the wipe method we just passed it over, and the device. And if we have a look at the results in assets, it's appended it, because I mean the system might have 3 or 4 disks, and so it just keeps appending disks like that. So if you did another one, it would be on the end of that. So that's all there is to it. But how it actually works, let's go to system log first. It uses dmidecode. Now that's available in Linux. If it isn't, you may have to app getAsset, which you'd have to do in the by modifying the initRD file. Again, that's all explained in previous demos. I'll put the relevant part in the comments, perhaps. But you can get all the information like CPU, memory size, memory make. That's different because we're using list ls hardware sort of, getting that. Battery capacity. And then finally it does the post. Now this is an important thing because we're using list format. We need to put a new line character on the end between each value, and the way to do that in Bash is like that. Now you'd think you could possibly get away with \n, but try it. So if you did put \n and then did an echo of the string, you'd find a \n in it. So that's the way to do it. Bit clumsy, but as we say, it works. So that's all is the system log, disk log. Okay. Oh, I was just going to say system log also uses wipelib, and wipelib is the bit that has the whiptail in it. This sort of parts it off so that if you don't want to use whiptail, you can modify wipelib and remove it without messing with the other code. And this is just like in the wipe scripts. You run whiptail, and it's going to check that you do put in a number, and that everything's okay. It returns it. It also does the checkSerial bit. So it rereads the serial and posts it, and then returns the result. Yep, returns the result unless it's an error, in which case you get another whiptail dialog saying something has gone seriously wrong. And the final bit is disk log, which has to split it between SCSI, MMC, NVMI and things. Where's NVMI? Let's see it. Okay. And collects all the information and sends it over. Now the information that's a bit disk type specific is some of these models and serial numbers and things like that. This code obviously in the comments and in GitHub. Now the final thing to do is to incorporate these scripts into the wipe scripts, which I say we last looked at part 48. I'm just going to post them to GitHub. I think doing a video on that is probably unnecessary, really. And also you can change. It probably won't be what you want to do in your environment. Okay, so that's collecting data from a Linux system.